Rob, give us your thoughts on that. You've got a quarter-final against Newcastle here at home. You must be delighted.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, there was only one thing we had to do today, which was win the game. And as I say, a home quarter-final is something we haven't experienced before in any of the European Cups, so that'll be fantastic for us. Obviously, what we've got to hope now is we can get a big crowd in here and put in a good performance. They can, potentially just keep the European kind of cup alive for us for as long as possible.
Second half, you really kicked on. The first half was probably a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, and I think that's what we said to the boys at half time. Just avoid. I think what we did really well was we avoided getting frustrated. We had some opportunities we didn't quite take, and I think that's when you can get frustrated. You can make a mistake, and the opposition score a soft try, get some soft points, and they have a reason to play then. And I think what we did really well was we controlled territory very well. I thought we made a lot of good decisions on that score, and gradually we exerted more and more pressure, and then the tries came. And I think that's what we've got to get used to as a team. I think quite often we feel comfortable when we're battering away and we're winning the game quite early on. But the truth is, in most top-flight games, you have to put a fair bit of groundwork in, and I thought that's what we did today. We got a lot of groundwork in, and ultimately the scores came later on. And that's what we've got to be comfortable doing in the Premiership as well.
Defensively, very strong. I think it's 39th minute before they got in our 22. Yeah,
and I think that you've got to build your whole season on that, and I think that was probably the most pleasing thing for me. It would have been very easy to get carried away with people saying that they had nothing to play for and they weren't going to bring a strong team. Any 15 we put on the pitch out of our 38 registered players, I know would fight tooth and nail to win any kind of game we put them in. So that's what you've got to appreciate. It would have been the same for those guys. As I say, I think we weren't as clinical as we probably like to have been, but we've come through, and in the end we put in a very professional display.
You talked about building on last week's win in Connaught, and now I suppose it's a case of building on both these wins to take into the LV. Yeah,
well, we've got to use the LV sensibly now. The truth is, people are asking me about what would the strength of the Bayonne team be, and I said, well, out of our registered players in the European Cup, we'd have picked exactly the same back five to our scrum because we didn't have anybody else who was fit. So those five who played and the guys on the bench, that's who would have played if we'd have had nothing to play on this game. So it kind of shows we've got to use the LV Cup sensibly. We have got a few injured bodies. We need to try and get back over the next couple of weeks when we get back in the Premiership. We've got a few guys now who've had a lot of minutes, and we've got a lot of exciting young players who are going to get a great opportunity in the next 2 weeks, because we're definitely going to put the opportunity in their court. You're going to see the likes of Sam Simmons and probably Sam Skinner and your Max Badillis and some of the guys who haven't had as much game time recently, Tom James and Feti Vanakolas. You're going to see quite an exciting mix play in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to go after a couple of wins. And it's going to be exciting to be involved with coaching-wise and player-wise. It'll give these lads who've been our front liners a little bit of a chance to refresh for a week, and then we'll get everyone cranked up and ready to get back into what is now, the tightest top half of the Premiership I think anyone's ever seen, and it's going to be very exciting to see how the top 6 places drop, because anybody can jump up and down about 4 places now with a win or a loss, and we've got to make sure that it's the wins we're getting.
Equally, you're as hungry to defend that LV Cup title as well.
Oh yeah, well, you need to remember, in most of the rounds last season, we mixed and matched and we played very, very well. As the Gloucester game showed here. So we were going for it flat out.